In the last episode of a tale that would change the course of human history, the stage was set for a beacon of hope to emerge from the ashes of a ravaged Earth. The planet, once teeming with life and full of promise, had been laid waste by environmental disaster and societal collapse. The remnants of humanity clung to existence in a harsh, unforgiving world. As I, Ambrose Wynter, stood at the edge of the ruins that once was my home, the weight of our collective despair hung heavy in the air. I gazed out upon the desolate landscape, my mind racing with the possibilities of what could be if only we had the chance to rebuild. The wind whipped through my hair as I turned to face the small group of survivors gathered behind me. Their eyes, a mix of desperation and determination, looked to me for leadership. I took a deep breath and began to speak. "We can rebuild," I said. "We can create a new world, one where humanity thrives, not just survives." The words seemed to spark a fire within them, and I could see the hope begin to kindle in their eyes. I knew that I had to fan that flame, to nurture it into a blaze that would illuminate the darkness. With a newfound sense of purpose, I set out to forge unlikely alliances with the marginalized species that inhabited the fringes of our planet. There were the charismatic, tall, stately beings with skin like dark, polished marble and eyes that shone like stars. The Airthes, creatures of air and light, their forms shifting and flowing like the wind. And the Entari, insectoid beings with a hive mind and a talent for technology that rivaled our own. I spent months traveling the ruins of Earth, gathering the scattered remnants of human civilization and uniting them under a common goal. We worked tirelessly to design and build a new generation of technology, one that would allow us to reclaim our planet and expand into the galaxy. The charismatic were the first to join us, their advanced biotech capabilities proving invaluable in our quest to revitalize the planet. The Airthes followed, their mastery of energy and matter manipulation opening doors to new possibilities in propulsion and construction. And the Entari, with their hive mind and technological prowess, became our partners in the development of advanced artificial intelligence. As our alliances grew, so did our ambitions. We set our sights on the stars and the riches that lay beyond our planet. The galaxy, with all its mysteries and dangers, beckoned to us like a siren's call. I remember the day we launched our first interstellar mission. The feeling of excitement and trepidation hung in the air as we pierced the veil of atmosphere and entered the unknown. The stars shone like diamonds against the blackness of space, and I felt a sense of awe wash over me. Our destination was the planet of Tartarus Roman 4, a world rumored to be rich in rare earth minerals and precious metals. The journey was long and arduous, but the promise of reward was too great to ignore. As we entered the orbit of Tartarus Roman 4, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and wonder. Our tiny fleet of ships, a motley collection of scavenged vessels and cutting-edge designs, hung like a fragile necklace against the starry expanse. But we were not alone. A fleet of rival human ships, the Azure Dynasty, hung in wait, their intentions clear. They had long been our enemies, and I knew that they would stop at nothing to claim the riches of Tartarus Roman 4 for themselves. I turned to my trusted advisor, Rachel Kim. "What do we do, Ambrose?" she asked, her voice tight with concern. I smiled grimly. "We do what we must." The battle for Tartarus Roman 4 had begun, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did I know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would take humanity to the very limits of its potential and beyond. The sound of laser fire and explosions filled the air as our ships clashed with the Azure Dynasty. I watched in awe as our pilots, a mix of seasoned veterans and green recruits, fought with skill and bravery. But even as we gained the upper hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this battle than met the eye. The Azure Dynasty's sudden appearance seemed too convenient, too orchestrated. I made a mental note to investigate further, to uncover the truth behind this seemingly random encounter. The battle won, we claimed the planet and its riches as our own. But as I looked out upon the stars, I knew that this was only the beginning. There were more challenges to come, more battles to fight, and I, Ambrose Wynter, was ready. The question was, what lay ahead? The vast unknown seemed to hum with anticipation, and I was eager to find out. With a newfound sense of purpose, I set my sights on the next great challenge, ready to face whatever the galaxy had in store for us. The future was bright, and I was ready to lead the way. As I stood on the bridge of my flagship, the celestial horizon, I gazed out at the stars, my mind racing with the possibilities. The conquest of Tartarus Roman 4 had marked a major milestone for humanity, but I knew that there were greater challenges ahead. The Azure dynasty's sudden appearance still lingered in my mind, a nagging sense that there was more to the story. I turned to Rachel, my trusted advisor, who stood beside me, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen. "Rachel, we need to investigate the Azure dynasty's intentions. There's something more to this than just a random encounter." Rachel nodded, her face set in determination. "I've already launched a discreet inquiry, Ambrose. We should have some answers soon." I nodded, my mind already racing ahead. "Good. In the meantime, let's focus on consolidating our gains. We need to establish a strong foothold on Tartarus Roman 4 and ensure the flow of resources back to Earth." The comm system beeped, and Rachel turned to answer the call. "Sir, we have an incoming transmission from the Galactic Council." My heart quickened as I took the call. The Galactic Council, a loose assembly of alien nations, had long been a thorn in humanity's side. Their condescending attitude towards us had been a constant source of frustration, but I knew that we needed their cooperation if we were to expand further into the galaxy. Ambrose Wynter, human leader, a smooth, melodious voice spoke from the viewscreen. "The Galactic Council recognizes your achievements on Tartarus Roman 4. We propose a meeting to discuss the terms of your integration into the galactic community." I raised an eyebrow, sensing a trap. "I'm listening." "We propose a summit on the planet of Zeridia Roman 3. Representatives from the major alien nations will be present. We assure you, Ambrose Wynter, that this meeting will be enlightening." I turned to Rachel, who was already analyzing the transmission. "What do you think, Rachel? Is this a genuine offer, or is there something more to it?" Rachel's face was grim. "I don't trust them, Ambrose. There's too much at stake. We need to be cautious." I nodded, my mind made up. "Agreed. We'll attend the summit, but we'll go in prepared. We'll need to assemble a team of our best diplomats and strategists. The stakes are too high to take any chances." As I turned back to the viewscreen, a cold, calculated smile spread across my face. The Galactic Council thought they could play me like a pawn on their chessboard, but they were wrong. I was Ambrose Wynter, and I would not be intimidated. The game was on. I began assembling a team of experts, handpicking individuals with unique skills and expertise to accompany me to the summit on Zeridia Roman 3. Rachel, ever the consummate strategist, worked tirelessly to anticipate every eventuality, preparing countermeasures for any potential traps or deceptions. Meanwhile, I paid a visit to Dr. Sophia Patel, humanity's leading xenobiologist, who was stationed on Tartarus Roman 4. Her groundbreaking research on the alien ecosystem had been instrumental in our conquest of the planet. I needed her expertise to better understand the intricacies of intergalactic politics. As I entered the makeshift laboratory, Sophia greeted me with a warm smile, her dark hair tied back in a ponytail. "Ambrose, what brings you to my humble abode?" "I need your insight, Sophia," I replied, getting straight to the point. "The Galactic Council has invited us to a summit on Zeridia Roman 3. I want to know what we're walking into." Sophia's expression turned thoughtful as she led me to a holographic display projecting an image of the Zeridia system. Zeridia Roman 3 is a neutral planet, a diplomatic hub for the galactic community. The Council's offer to host the summit there is uncharacteristically generous. I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "Sophia's research suggests that Zeridia Roman 3 is home to a unique energy signature, one that could be leveraged to amplify or disrupt advanced technology." Rachel, who had accompanied me, interjected. I turned to Sophia. What kind of technology are we talking about? The xenobiologist's eyes locked onto mine, her voice measured. Ambrose, if the Council has indeed discovered a way to harness this energy, it could give them unprecedented control over the galaxy. We can't afford to underestimate their intentions. A chill ran down my spine as the gravity of Sophia's words sank in. I turned to Rachel. Revise our strategy. We need to be prepared for any eventuality, including the possibility that the Council is hiding more than just their true intentions. Rachel nodded, her eyes already scanning the horizon for potential threats. "I'll get to work on it, Ambrose. Well, be ready." As I left Sophia's laboratory, my mind was abuzz with the implications of this new information. The stakes had just been raised, and I knew that humanity's future hung precariously in the balance. Back on the celestial horizon, I gathered my team for a final briefing before our departure for Zeridiroman 3. The room was tense with anticipation, every face set with determination. "It's time to put on a show, people," I declared, my voice echoing through the chamber. "Well negotiate, well maneuver, and well emerge victorious. Humanity's fate depends on it." The room erupted into a chorus of affirmations, my team ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. I smiled, a sense of pride and purpose swelling within me. We were in this together, and together we would forge a new destiny for humanity. The game was indeed on, and I was ready to play as we departed for Zeridiroman 3. The celestial horizon pierced through the veil of space, carrying humanity's future on its shoulders. My team was a well-oiled machine, each member honed for the task at hand. Rachel's strategic mind was already anticipating the Council's opening moves, while Sophia's expertise would help us navigate the intricate web of alien politics. The jump to Zeridiroman 3 was uneventful, the ship's advanced sensors and scanners on high alert for any signs of deception or ambush. As we entered the planet's atmosphere, a shimmering veil of iridescent energy enveloped us, the air thick with an otherworldly resonance. "Ladies and gentlemen," I announced, my voice steady, "welcome to Zeridiroman 3. Let's make a lasting impression." The celestial horizon landed with precision on the outskirts of the summit's designated landing zone. A flotilla of sleek, alien vessels hovered above, their hulls etched with strange, pulsing hieroglyphs. I could feel the weight of history bearing down upon us, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. As we disembarked, a procession of dignitaries emerged from the gathering of alien delegations. At the forefront stood Zorvath, the enigmatic leader of the Galactic Council, his piercing green eyes fixed on me like a predator sizing up its prey. "Ambrose Wynter, it is an honor to finally meet you in person." Zorvath's voice dripped with sarcasm, his words laced with an undercurrent of menace. "The pleasure is all mine, Zorvath," I replied, my smile a calculated blend of charm and confidence. "I trust you're prepared to discuss the future of our intergalactic community." Zorvath's gaze never wavered, his lips curling into a cryptic smile. "Oh, we are prepared, Ambrose. We are prepared to shape the course of history." The delegates from various alien species parted, revealing a gleaming, crystalline structure at the summit's center. The air pulsed with an electric tension as Zorvath led us toward the entrance, his words hanging in the balance like a challenge. "Shall we begin?" I nodded, my heart pounding in anticipation as the fate of humanity hung precariously in the balance. This was it, the moment of truth. The game was indeed on, and I was ready to play. "Let's get down to business, Zorvath," I declared, my voice carrying conviction. "Humanity's future awaits." With those words, we stepped into the heart of the crystalline structure, the summit's secrets waiting to be unraveled. But as we ventured deeper, a sense of unease crept over me, a nagging feeling that we were walking into a trap set by the very aliens who had invited us to the table. I glanced at Rachel, her eyes locked onto the shadows, her instincts screaming warnings. Something was off, something that threatened to upset the delicate balance of power. I knew then that this summit would be a game of cat and mouse, where the stakes were nothing short of humanity's survival. As we entered the crystalline structure, The air vibrated with an otherworldly energy, the pulsing hieroglyphs on the walls echoing the rhythm of the planet's heartbeat. The delegates from various alien species took their seats, their eyes fixed on me with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. Zorvath, ever the master of theatrics, raised his hands, and the room fell silent. The Galactic Council welcomes humanity to the intergalactic community, he declared, his voice booming through the chamber. We gather here today to discuss the terms of your membership and the role you will play in shaping the future of our galaxy. I took a deep breath, my mind racing with strategies and counter-strategies. This was it, the moment of truth. The game was on and I was ready to play. We appreciate the Council's willingness to engage in open dialogue, I began, my voice confident and measured. Humanity is committed to contributing to the greater good of the galaxy. We propose a mutually beneficial agreement, one that recognizes our sovereignty while fostering cooperation and collaboration. Zorvath's smile widened, his eyes glinting with amusement. Ah, Ambrose, you are indeed a master of diplomacy. But let us not deceive ourselves, the stakes are higher than mere cooperation. The balance of power in the galaxy is at play, and humanity's emergence has sent ripples throughout the cosmos. I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew this was coming. The Council's true intentions were about to be revealed. We're aware of the concerns, I replied, my tone steady. But we propose a compromise. Humanity will contribute its unique skills and resources to the galactic community in exchange for a seat at the Council table and a guarantee of our sovereignty. The room fell silent, the delegates exchanging whispered consultations. Zorvath's gaze never wavered, his eyes boring into mine like a challenge. "Very well, Ambrose," he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "We will consider your proposal. But first, let us clarify the terms of your membership. You see, there is a condition." My instinct screamed warnings. Rachel's eyes locked onto mine, her expression a mixture of concern and alarm. Something was off, something that threatened to upset the delicate balance of power. "What condition?" I asked, my voice cool, my mind racing with possibilities. Zorvath's smile grew wider, his eyes glinting with malice. "A demonstration of humanity's commitment to the galactic community. A small gesture of goodwill, if you will." My gut tightened, a sense of unease spreading through my chest. This was it, the trap was springing shut, and I had to think fast to avoid the Council's snare. "And what might that gesture be?" I asked, my voice measured, my mind racing with possibilities. Zorvath's gaze never wavered, his eyes fixed on mine like a predator sizing up its prey. "We require humanity to relinquish control of the recently discovered planet, Zeridiaroman 4, he replied, his voice dripping with confidence. "A small planet of little strategic value, but a symbol of humanity's commitment to the greater good." My heart sank, a sense of betrayal washing over me. Zeridiaroman 4, the planet we had fought so hard to claim, the key to our survival and expansion in the galaxy. This was the Council's true intention, to strip humanity of its hard-won gains and leave us at their mercy. I knew then that the game was far from over. The summit had just become a battleground, and humanity's future hung precariously in the balance. The air seemed to thicken, the delegates' eyes fixed on me like predators sensing vulnerability. I forced myself to remain calm, to think clearly, as the weight of humanity's fate rested on my shoulders. "I see," I said, my voice measured, buying time to consider the Council's demand. "And what guarantees do we have that the Council will uphold its end of the agreement?" Zorvath's smile faltered for a moment, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. "The Galactic Council is not in the habit of making empty promises, Ambrose. We will provide humanity with the necessary resources and protection in exchange for your cooperation." I raised an eyebrow, my mind racing with the implications. Cooperation was a euphemism for surrender, and I knew it, but I had to play along, at least for now. "I'll need some time to consult with my advisors," I said, stalling for time, my eyes locked onto Rachel's, searching for any sign of insight. Zorvath's nod was curt, his eyes never leaving mine. "Very well, Ambrose. You have 1 standard hour to consider our proposal. After that we will expect an answer." The delegates murmured, the tension in the room palpable. I knew I had to make a decision, and fast. The game was far from over, and I had to outmaneuver the council if humanity was to survive. As the delegates dispersed, Rachel approached me, her voice low and urgent. "Ambrose, we can't give up Zeridiroman 4. It's our only leverage against the council." I nodded, my mind racing with possibilities. "I know, Rachel, but we need to be smart about this. We can't afford to antagonize the council, not yet." She frowned, her eyes searching mine. "What are you planning, Ambrose?" I smiled, a spark of defiance igniting within me. "I'm planning to play their game, Rachel, to use their own rules against them, and I need your help to do it." Her eyes narrowed, a hint of determination creeping into her expression. "I'm with you, Ambrose. Let's do this." Together we huddled with our advisors, parsing the council's proposal, searching for a way to turn the tables in our favor. The clock was ticking, and humanity's fate hung precariously in the balance. But I was Ambrose Wynter, the master strategist, and I would not be defeated. As the hour drew to a close, I stood tall, my heart pounding with anticipation. The game was on, and I was ready to play. The air was thick with tension as I took a deep breath, surveying the room filled with anxious advisors and delegates. Rachel stood at my side, her eyes locked onto mine as we prepared to face the council once more. "I propose we accept the council's offer," I said, my voice calm and measured, but with a few adjustments. The room fell silent, the delegates exchanging wary glances. Zorvath's eyes narrowed, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Explain," he demanded, his tone firm but controlled. I smiled, a hint of confidence creeping into my expression. "We'll provide the council with access to Zeridia's resources, but only in exchange for a seat on the Galactic Council itself." Gasps echoed through the room, the delegates murmuring among themselves. Zorvath's expression turned cold, his eyes flashing with anger. "That's unacceptable, Ambrose," he spat. "The council will never agree to such a demand." I chuckled, a cold, calculated sound. "Oh, I think they will, Zorvath. You see, I've been doing some research, and it seems the council is in dire need of a new source of rare minerals. Zeridiroman 4 is the only planet capable of providing those resources in sufficient quantities." Rachel's eyes flickered with understanding, a subtle nod of approval on her lips. I knew I had her backing, and that gave me the confidence to push forward. "The council needs us, Zorvath," I continued, my voice dripping with conviction, "and am willing to give them what they need, but at a price. A seat on the council and a guarantee of humanity's sovereignty over Zeridiroman 4. The room fell silent once more, the delegates weighing their options. I knew it was a bold move, but I was counting on the council's desperation to secure the deal. Zorvath's face twisted in a scowl, his eyes flashing with anger. "I'll need to consult with the council," he growled, his voice low and menacing. I nodded, a cold smile spreading across my face. "Take all the time you need, Zorvath. But know this, humanity will not be ignored. We will not be pushed aside. We will be heard, and we will be respected." The delegates dispersed, the tension in the room palpable. I knew I had taken a risk, but I was willing to do whatever it took to secure humanity's future. As the doors closed behind the delegates, Rachel turned to me, her eyes sparkling with a mix of admiration and concern. "Ambrose, what have you just done?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. I smiled, a thrill of excitement running through me. "I've just changed the game, Rachel, and am willing to bet it all on humanity's future." The stakes were higher than ever, but I was ready to play. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I was determined to emerge victorious. The room seemed to hold its breath as the delegates departed, leaving Rachel and me alone with our thoughts. I could feel her gaze upon me, a mix of awe and trepidation in her eyes. "Ambrose, you're pushing the council to the limit," she whispered, her voice laced with caution. "What if they refuse your terms?" I turned to her, my expression unwavering. "Then we'll be prepared to take matters into our own hands, Rachel. We can't afford to back down now. Not when the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Rachel's eyes searched mine, as if seeking reassurance that I knew what I was doing. I did. I had calculated the risks, weighed the odds, and come out with a plan that would guarantee humanity's place in the galaxy. The silence between us was broken only by the soft hum of the chamber's life support systems. I took Rachel's hand, my fingers intertwining with hers in a gesture of reassurance. "Trust me, Rachel," I whispered. "I know what I'm doing. We'll get through this together." Her hand tightened around mine, a sign of her unwavering support. I knew that Rachel would stand by me, no matter what lay ahead. As we stood there, lost in our own little world of uncertainty and determination, the comms console on the far wall beeped, signaling an incoming transmission. I released Rachel's hand, my heart pounding in anticipation. "Answer it," Rachel urged, her voice barely above a whisper. I nodded, taking a deep breath as I strode towards the console. The holographic display flickered to life, casting an eerie glow across the room. Zorvath's scowling face materialized before me, his eyes flashing with anger. "Ambrose Wynter," he growled, his voice low and menacing. "The Council has reached a decision." I smiled, a cold, calculated smile. "I'm listening," I said, my voice dripping with confidence. "The Council accepts your terms," Zorvath snarled, his face twisted in disgust. "But know this, Ambrose Wynter, we will be watching you closely. One misstep, and humanity will be the first to fall." My smile grew wider, a sense of triumph washing over me. I had done it. I had secured humanity's place in the galaxy. "I wouldn't have it any other way, Zorvath," I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "After all, it's only fair that the Council keeps a close eye on the species that's about to change the course of history." The transmission ended, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Rachel's gaze was upon me, a mixture of awe and concern etched on her face. "What now, Ambrose?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. I turned to her, my expression unwavering. "Now we take our rightful place among the stars. We forge alliances, we secure resources, and we prepare for the challenges that lie ahead." Rachel's eyes locked onto mine, a spark of determination igniting within them. "Then let's get started," she whispered, her voice laced with steel. I smiled, a cold, calculated smile. Together, we would shape the course of history. Together, we would forge a new destiny for humanity. The smile lingered on my lips as I turned away from the console, my mind already racing ahead to the next step. Rachel's hand found mine once more, her grip firm as we stood together, our eyes locked on the future. "First things first," I said, my voice filled with purpose. "We need to assemble our team. Gather the best minds, the most skilled warriors, and the most charismatic diplomats. We'll need them to forge alliances, secure resources, and navigate the complex web of intergalactic politics." Rachel nodded, her brow furrowed in thought. "I'll start making a list. Who do you have in mind?" I smiled, a plan already taking shape in my mind. "Kale Jansen, for one. He's got the strategic mind we need to outmaneuver our foes. And Lyra Urso, her skills in diplomacy are unmatched. We'll need her to charm the alien species into our corner." Rachel's eyes sparkled as she nodded. "And what about the others?" I took a deep breath, the names tumbling out of my mouth as the plan unfolded. Ren Flynn for his cunning and stealth, Ava Morno for her technical genius, and of course Aaron Vex for his unwavering loyalty and combat prowess. As I spoke, the room seemed to come alive, the shadows casting by the flickering console, lights dancing across the walls like living things. Rachel's hand tightened around mine, her excitement mirroring my own. "We're going to change the course of history, Ambrose," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. I smiled, my heart pounding in anticipation. "We're just getting started, Rachel. The best is yet to come." The silence between us was short-lived as the comms console beeped once more, signaling another incoming transmission. I raised an eyebrow, a sense of curiosity washing over me. "Answer it," Rachel urged, her voice laced with trepidation. I nodded, striding towards the console as the holographic display flickered to life. This time, it was not Zorvath's scowling face that materialized before me, but a being unlike any I had ever seen. Its body was a mass of iridescent tendrils, swirling with colors that seemed to shift and change as it moved. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were pools of pure energy, burning with an intensity that made my skin prickle. "Greetings, Ambrose Wynter," the being said, its voice like a gentle breeze on a summer day. "I am Kaida, emissary of the Kai Viharn Empire. We have been watching your progress with great interest." I felt Rachel's hand tighten around mine, her grip a steady anchor as I faced the unknown. I smiled, a sense of wonder washing over me. "Welcome, Kaida," I said, my voice filled with curiosity. "What brings the Kai Viharn Empire to our doorstep?" Kaida's tendrils seemed to shift as if the being was nodding. "We are curious about humanity's sudden rise to power. We wish to discuss the implications of your newfound status." I smiled, a sense of opportunity washing over me. "I'm happy to discuss the implications, Kaida, but first tell me, what do you know of the ancient artifact hidden on the planet Zeridia?" Kaida's energy pools seemed to flash as if the being was surprised. "How did you know of the artifact, Ambrose Wynter?" I leaned forward, my heart pounding in anticipation. "Let's just say I have my ways, Kaida, but I think it's time we talked about the real reason you're here. The reason that has the Kai Viharn Empire so interested in humanity's rise to power." Rachel's grip on my hand tightened, as if she sensed the stakes were about to get a whole lot higher. I smiled, a sense of determination washing over me. "Let's talk, Kaida," I said, my voice dripping with confidence. "Let's talk about the future of the galaxy." Kaida's tendrils seemed to undulate, as if the being was considering its response. The silence was palpable, the air thick with anticipation. Rachel's grip on my hand remained firm, her eyes locked on the holographic display. "The artifact on Zeridia is indeed a powerful relic," Kaida said finally, its voice like a gentle melody. "It holds the key to unlocking the secrets of the ancient civilizations that once spanned the galaxy." I leaned forward, my heart racing with excitement. "And what does the Kai Viharn Empire plan to do with this knowledge?" Kaida's energy pools seemed to pulse, as if the being was weighing its words carefully. "We seek to use the artifact to restore balance to the galaxy. The rise of humanity has upset the delicate balance of power, and the Kai Viharn Empire is willing to take drastic measures to ensure stability is maintained." I smiled, a sense of calculation washing over me. "I think we can help each other, Kaida. Humanity has a unique perspective on the galaxy, one that could prove invaluable to the Kai Viharn Empire." Rachel's grip on my hand tightened as if she sensed the direction of the conversation. I ignored her warning, my focus fixed on Kaida. "Propose an alliance, Ambrose Wynter," Kaida said, its voice like a challenge. "One that would grant humanity a seat at the galactic table and grant the Kai Viharn Empire the knowledge it seeks." I smiled, a sense of opportunity washing over me. "I'm listening, Kaida. Let's hear your proposal." The room seemed to hold its breath, the only sound the soft hum of the console. Kaida's tendrils undulated, as if the being was gathering its thoughts. "In exchange for humanity's assistance in retrieving the artifact, the Kai Viharn Empire is willing to provide military aid, technological advancements, and diplomatic recognition. We would work together to maintain balance in the galaxy and ensure humanity's continued rise to power." I nodded, my mind racing with the implications. The offer was tantalizing, but I knew better than to take it at face value. "And what of the Galactic Council?" I asked, my voice laced with skepticism. "Would they not object to such an alliance?" Kaida's energy pools seemed to flash, as if the being was amused. "The Galactic Council is a relic of the past, Ambrose Wynter, a dying breed desperate to cling to power. The Kai Viharn Empire has already begun to forge alliances with other powerful factions, ones that would render the Council obsolete." I smiled, a sense of possibility washing over me. The stakes were high, but the reward could be worth it. "I'll need time to consider your proposal, Kaida," I said, my voice measured. but I think we can come to an agreement, one that would benefit both humanity and the Kai Viharn Empire. Kaida's tendrils seemed to nod, as if the being was pleased. I anticipated as much, Ambrose Wynter. I will await your response, but be warned, time is of the essence. The balance of power in the galaxy is shifting, and those who hesitate will be left behind. The holographic display flickered and Kaida's image vanished. The room seemed to exhale, the tension dissipating. Rachel's grip on my hand remained firm, her eyes locked on mine. "What do you think, Ambrose?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Is this an opportunity we can't afford to pass up?" I smiled, a sense of determination washing over me. "Let's gather our team, Rachel. We have a lot to discuss." I stood, my eyes locked on Rachel's as I nodded. "Gather the council members. I want to hear their thoughts on this proposal. We need to weigh the risks and benefits and consider all possible outcomes." Rachel nodded, her grip on my hand finally relaxing as she stepped back. "I'll send out the summons, Ambrose. But what about the Kai Viharn Empire's intentions? Can we trust them?" I smiled, a sense of calculation washing over me. "Trust is a luxury we can't afford in this galaxy, Rachel. But I believe Kaida's words were genuine. They need us and we need them. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement, at least for now." I turned, my eyes scanning the room as I considered the possibilities. The silence was broken only by the soft hum of the console and the gentle rustle of Rachel's footsteps as she departed to summon the council. My mind raced with thoughts of the artifact, the Kai Viharn Empire, and the implications of such an alliance. I knew that I had to consider every angle, every possible outcome before making a decision. As I stood there, lost in thought, the door to the council chamber slid open and my team began to filter in. Rachel returned, accompanied by Dr. Patel, Marcus, and the rest of the council members. The room was soon filled with the murmur of conversation as my team began to discuss the proposal in hushed tones. I remained standing, my eyes locked on the holographic display, now dark and still. "All right, let's get started," I said, my voice loud enough to cut through the chatter. "We have a lot to discuss and not a lot of time to waste. Let's hear your thoughts and see if we can come to a consensus." The room fell silent as my team turned to face me. Dr. Patel cleared his throat, his eyes locked on mine. "Ambrose, I think we need to consider the long-term implications of such an alliance. The Kai Viharn Empire is a powerful force, and we can't be sure of their true intentions." I nodded, my mind racing with thoughts of the ancient civilizations that once spanned the galaxy. "I agree, Doctor, but I also believe that this could be an opportunity for humanity to take a major leap forward. We need to weigh the risks and consider all possible outcomes." Marcus spoke up next, his voice laced with skepticism. "I don't trust the Kai Viharn Empire, Ambrose. They are too powerful and they have their own agenda. I think we're taking a huge risk by getting involved with them." I smiled, a sense of determination washing over me. "I understand your concerns, Marcus, but I believe that we can negotiate a fair deal, one that benefits both humanity and the Kai Viharn Empire. And if things go sour, we have the capabilities to adapt and respond." The discussion continued, with each member of the council offering their thoughts and opinions. The debate was heated, with some arguing in favor of the alliance and others opposing it. As the discussion drew to a close, I realized that we were no closer to a consensus. The risks and benefits were clear, but the path forward was shrouded in uncertainty. I stood, my eyes locked on my team. "I think we've discussed this enough. I want each of you to consider the proposal and weigh the risks and benefits. We'll reconvene in 24 hours and make a final decision." The room fell silent as my team nodded in agreement. I knew that the next 24 hours would be crucial and that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. I turned, my eyes locked on the holographic display, now dark and still. The silence was palpable, the air thick with anticipation. The future of humanity hung in the balance, and I knew that I had to make the right decision. The question was, what was the right decision? As I walked out of the council chamber, Rachel fell into step beside me. Her eyes were locked on mine, her expression unreadable. "Ambrose, can I have a word with you?" she asked, her voice low and measured. I nodded, my mind still racing with thoughts of the proposal. "What is it, Rachel?" We stopped in the corridor, the soft hum of the ship's systems providing a constant background noise. Rachel's eyes searched mine as if trying to read my thoughts. "I think we're playing with fire, Ambrose," she said, her voice laced with concern. "The Kyvharn Empire is not to be trusted. They have their own agenda and it's not in our best interests." I nodded, my mind already racing with the same concerns. "I know, Rachel, but I believe we can negotiate a fair deal. And if things go sour, we have the capabilities to adapt and respond." Rachel's eyes narrowed, her expression skeptical. "You're not thinking about the long game, Ambrose. You're thinking about short-term gains. What happens when the Kyvharn Empire decides they don't need us anymore?" I sighed, my mind already tired from the endless debates and discussions. "Rachel, I know you're worried, but I believe in our abilities. We've come this far and we can go further. We just need to be cautious and prepare for every eventuality." Rachel's eyes locked on mine, her expression unreadable. For a moment I thought I saw a glimmer of doubt, but it was quickly replaced by a mask of determination. "I'll support you, Ambrose," she said, her voice firm. "But I want you to promise me one thing. You'll be cautious and you'll think about the long game. We can't afford to make any mistakes." I nodded, my mind already racing with the implications. "I promise, Rachel, I'll be cautious and I'll think about the long game. We'll make this work together." As we stood there, the silence between us was palpable. I knew that the next 24 hours would be crucial and that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. I turned, my eyes locked on the corridor stretching out before us. "Let's get to work, Rachel. We have a lot to do and not a lot of time to waste." Rachel nodded, her eyes never leaving mine. Together, we walked off into the unknown, our footsteps echoing through the corridor. The silence was broken only by the soft hum of the ship's systems and the gentle rustle of our footsteps. I knew that the future of humanity hung in the balance and that I had to make the right decision. But what was the right decision? As I walked, my mind racing with thoughts of the proposal and the Kyvharn Empire, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were walking into a trap, that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and that I was the only one who could save it. The question was, could I save it?